Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to give you guys a look into every single Amtrak Viewliner room.
All right, we are really excited to show you these rooms today because this is the Viewliner train, and it's a special train, especially for me because I always sleep on the top bunk. And on the Viewliner, you get a lot more space vertically. You get a lot more headroom on these trains, so that's good. But before we jump into that, let's go over what trains these are going to be and where you're going to get them. So Viewliner trains basically are trains that go to New York that have sleeper cars. And it's not a lot of trains, but basically the superliners can't go there, so they have these Viewliner trains.
Tall.
They have these Viewliner trains, and they can go there. So that's going to be the Crescent, the Cardinal, the Lakeshore Limited, the Silver Meteor, the Silver Star, and on just a couple of trains of the Northeast Regional do have a couple sleeping cars, but those are pretty rare. So that's going to be when you're going to be on a Viewliner. Think East Coast, not West Coast. Those are superliners, and that's when you're gonna
to keep it easy.
Yeah. So we have put those on a map for you. We have that map available on our website if you want to be able to look at all the different routes and tell which train is which. Go to our website, groundlifetravel.com. You can download that map and get a little bit better look at it as well. But let's jump right in.
Yes.
Because the Viewliner rooms, there's massive differences between them. If you're on a superliner train, the Superliner 1, Superliner 2, there's not much difference. But the Viewliners, there's big differences. So there are older Viewliner 1 cars, and there's newer Viewliner 2 cars. So we're going to break those down. Now, before we get into that, though, I will say you can't pick which one you're going to get.
No.
So if you book, say, a Roomette, they're going to give you either a Viewliner 1 or a Viewliner 2. You can't pick.
Right.
So you have to be expecting one or the other. You really can't decide, right?
You just get the luck of the draw when you get there. We always say we know what they look like pretty quickly when we get on, and we always try to peek into the train through the windows as we're trying to board so we could see which one it is. We do have our preference as well as to which one of these two we like. Now, people have some fairly strong opinions about the big difference between a Viewliner 1 and a Viewliner 2 because there is one thing that's pretty big difference between the two.
And that's going to be, as you watch these Roomettes, it's the toilet. The Viewliner 1s have a toilet in the room. The Viewliner 2s have the toilet in the hall. So let's jump in and show you that Viewliner 1 Roomette right now.
It is time for a room tour, and we are in a Viewliner roomette, and it is very different than a superliner roomette. So I'm going to give you this tour here. Let's pop up here and take a look. So I'm going to flip this around and we'll start out. So you've got your doors here, and you've got your curtains that protect you. You've got your little flip lock here that you move over, open, close. And you have a big overhead light switch here, another curtain here. Now, one of the big differences is that in a Viewliner roomette, you have a sink and a commode. And they are right here in the room. You can see the commode right here. And then the sink is right here. This is pretty neat, guys. It just pops right out. And you've got your sink right here in the room. Now, when the person is upstairs, Rob, in this case, then this light, when the sink is down, you'll see the light turns red. So that signifies to the person, if he just looks down, he can see that this light is red, and not to put his feet on if it's dark and he can't see that the sink is down. So it's really nice to be able to have basically the bathroom right here in your room, and you've got a mirror right here. Hey, now up above, you'll also see, let's see if I can get up here. There we go. There's a luggage rack up here. We've got one bag up here, and then the bed is up here. We'll give you a tour of this upstairs area in a little bit when the room is done up. Now, some things to look at here is we are on a Viewliner, which means we have a lot more space, especially headroom. If you look at how high up that goes, this bed here actually pops down watch this, comes all the way down to here. So Rob is actually going to have all that space. And later on, when he's back in here, he's going to get that tape measure out of his, and he's going to measure that and show you just how high that is. The other nice thing is he's got these windows here, so when the bed is down, he'll actually be able to open or close these curtains, and he'll be able to have a view if he wants it, or not have a view if he doesn't want it, or if he wants to just go up there and hang out. Now this seat is very similar and same size as it would be like in a Superliner, but this one is actually a little bit narrower because part of the commode is taking up the space here. And then we love this, being able to control the speaker volume for the announcements being made. You can turn that all the way up or all the way down if you want to hear it. And then you've got several different types of lights. You get a little bit smaller light, a reading light, which is here in the corner. You get this higher light right here. You can make it little, and then you've got your overhead light, which you can use this mirror light. There's buttons for everyone to control, so the person above can control there and the person below can control here, which is really great. And you've got the same thing on this side, except you've got the actual speaker on this side, as opposed to being able to control it from this side. You would just be able to you know, just hear it from this side. And you've got the same light controls here as well. What I do like here also is that you've got a thermostat control, and not just do you have a thermostat control, but you also have the air control here as well. So if you are cold, you can turn it all the way off. You can have it on low, on medium, or we've got it right now on high because of course the sun is beating into the room and making it quite warm. You've got lots of different vents and another control down here. So this is for the person in the lower bunk, and you can turn the direction of this, of what it's facing. So if you want it to face you, and the same thing here, you can turn this if you want to face. The other great thing is if you've got something to hang up here, you've got this little kind of small closet rack, three hangers. You can probably get more if you want to put up there. So this is great, a great setup for the room. We've also got our own little trash bin as well, and our own little toilet paper right there. Now later on we'll give you a tour of what it looks like once it's all done up. So this is actually going to get pressed down, and this is going to get pulled out. So this is actually going to be the whole bed, and the mattress is actually upstairs right now. But we'll show you a little bit more later, bring you back, and we'll show you what this looks like when it's all done up after we come back from dinner.
Okay, so I am in the bathroom of the coach car on this Lakeshore Limited Viewliner, because unlike the Superliners, the sleeper cars do not have bathrooms in the car for the sleeper car passengers. You only have your bathroom in your room. So if you want to go to kind of a community bathroom, you need to go to the coach car and use that. So that can be good or bad depending on your circumstance, but this is it's a nice sized bathroom, but it's a little smaller than some of the other ones we've been on. So we just give you a little look around. And it is one of the sinks on these that I don't like, where as soon as you let go, it's just going to stop. The water's going to stop. So it's kind of hard to brush your teeth and such like that. So this is a handicap accessible bathroom in the coach car.
We had dinner and we came back to the room and set it all up for night for you. So now we're going to give you a quickie rest of the tour of what it looks like when you have your roomette all set up for sleeping. So I'm in the downstairs bunk. If you've watched the channel before, you know I sleep on the bottom and Rob usually sleeps on the top because he's pretty cool like that. So here's what it looks like. Well, right now we're just pulling out of Albany, but here's what it looks like, the bed. I'm sitting on this part here and the commode is next to me there, but I'll be sleeping with my head that way because, well, we don't want to have any mishaps with the commode in the night. So this is what it looks like here. I folded down both seats, and then there's a mattress and a sheet, and then I also get a blanket with it. So Rob is actually going to head up. You can go ahead and head up. He's going to climb up the stairs here, which the commode serves as one step, and then here's the second step, and then he's going to go up and he is going to give you a tour of his fabulous penthouse upstairs.
Okay, this is pretty luxurious up here, I have to say. And compared to a Superliner, there is tons of room. So let me show you what I'm looking at up here. I am sitting up fully in this bed, which I can't believe, because in a Superliner you cannot sit up like this. It's just impossible. You have to lay down the whole time. The other great thing about this is I do have windows to the outside, so window to the world. And these steps are actually a lot easier to come up and down than also the Superliner, which are a lot more narrow. A couple good things about this space up here I've noticed is you do have this luggage rack, which I've got my headphones sitting in there. I'm going to use those later. I have this little pouch right here with a lot of snacks in it. I'm going to put my phone, oh, there's nerds in there. I'm going to put my phone in there a little bit later. And then I do have my own air control here, which I love because we like to sleep at different temperatures.
Okay, so as you just saw, some people do like the ease of having a toilet in the room with you. And I think one of the things too about a Viewliner is that because there is only one level, you know, you can be, anyone can have any room basically on the train, because everything is easily accessible because you're just on one level, and all of the services and everything is on that one level. So you can easily go out into the hallway and go to the bathroom, but having that commode in your room is important to some people. Now, some people don't want anything to do with that. They are not interested in that. And I totally understand that. It is an absolute personal preference if you want that toilet in there or not. And you have to make arrangements with the person that you're sharing a room with, as far as that is concerned. So I think that's really a big draw for some people, right? To have that in their room.
Unfortunately, though, you can't pick. So,
no.
So you're gonna get a sense. So you have to be good with both.
Yeah.
When you get on one of these, because
it's an adventure.
You're gonna get one or the other. So you have to know that going in. Now, pricing on these Viewliner Roomettes, it's a little cheaper than the Superliner. So because they're shorter trips. These are not 2 overnights on the train. This is just 1 overnight on the train. So you're looking at around $500, $600 for a Viewliner. If you book ahead of time, that's for 2 people, total price for a roomette. And, you know, if you book in the summer, you're going to pay more. And if you book right before the trip, you're going to pay more.
Yes.
So you want to book non-summer dates as far in advance as possible. That's how you're going to get the best price.
Yes, and that price does also include your meals while you're on the train, whatever those may be, if it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, whichever one applies for when you're on the train. And then also includes 2 free checked bags per person. There is still that 50-pound weight limit, which you shouldn't be carrying that much stuff on a train anyways, unless you're moving. But you do have quite a bit that you can check if you're like, you know, a wild packer and put stuff everywhere and don't fold anything, then you might want a couple of bags. They just won't weigh much. So that is a really good perk of traveling by train, is you do get that, you know, those 2 free. So we could take 4 bags if we wanted to move.
Now, I will say this. We never check our bags on a Superliner, because on the bottom level of a Superliner, there are baggage compartments where you can just stuff as many bags as you want. That does not exist on the Viewliner. In the Viewliner, especially in the roomette, you have like a storage space up above, which we showed you, but that only fits 1 bag, and we usually
have 21 to 23 inch bag.
We always have
not bigger
2.
than that.
So on a Viewliner, we always check our bags.
Right.
Because otherwise there's nowhere to put
They're stuck in the room with us. And it's a small space. You saw, if you're in that roomette, there's nowhere to put a second suitcase. So we do always check it on a Viewliner.
So now let's go ahead and look at the Viewliner II roomette and see what the differences are. And you'll notice when you get on the train, you'll know which one it is right away. If you see wood paneling, That's a 2.
You're in a 2.
And I'm always happy. I'm always happy to see the wood paneling.
Because as Rob just gave away, the Viewliner II is our favorite between the two. We prefer to have a little bit extra storage space in the room and just room to move rather than having the extra, or having the toilet, the commode in the room with us. Yeah. So let's take a look at that. Okay guys, so let's start the tour. First of all, this is the seat I'm sitting in because I always sit facing the direction of travel. And note how wide this seat in is. So the other side is actually going to be a little bit narrower than this one. It's a couple inches narrower on that side than on this side. And then here you've got a nice big air vent, and you can always just turn that off if it's too cold for you. But this is really quite nice for when you're sleeping down here. I have always found it very helpful to have that vent right there. And over here you've got a reading light, which you can turn on and off here. And then you've got your area light there. And then this is to call your attendant. You push this button. And with this one here, this is for the PA announcement. So if you want to hear them in your room, then you would leave it, then you would press it so that it's pressed in. If you want the announcements off, you leave it out, like flush with the outside. And then right here, you've got a switch for the ceiling light, turn that on and off of the whole room, and then for a night light, which is a nice little light up above. Here you can kind of see what the thermostat in your room is set to. And actually down here, you've got this little kind of, you know, armrest. It's a large armrest, and I actually am setting my backpack there right now, but you have 2 outlets. And then you also have another vent here, and it's kind of like a car vent where you can move it this up and down and then side to side. So just like you would in a car, but here also, like in a car, you get to move this up and down. So you can shut it, kind of close it, or you can open it full blast or in the middle, whatever floats your boat. Feels good to you. Okay, next up, we've got this hook here. They give you a couple hangers. You can hang jackets here or whatever you want to hang here. I'll leave this stuff here for Rob to give you a tour when he's in his upstairs penthouse, but I'll keep showing you some cool stuff down here. All right, so this side, so you're looking at about 2 inches difference between this seat and this seat. And the reason for that is this. So in a Viewliner II, you are not going to have a commode, a toilet in the room with you. So in the Viewliner II, normally you would have a toilet in here with you, but you do not have that here, which is nice because I can't ever decide if I like it or not. But the reason why that's nice is because you've got this space down here, storage space. So you can stick a bag down there, no problem. And then this is going to be the steps for Rob to get up to his bed. Now over here, you're going to find the sink. There are cups here, and then with this little switch, boom, you're going to open that up, and there is your sink. And you've got your faucets right there, and you can store your little soap right there, which is really nice. And you've got more outlets on this side, and then you've got your mirror light, which is this light up above that turns on. And then this red light is an indicator to Rob above. If the lights are off in the room and I have the sink open, this light will indicate to him that the sink is open so he doesn't put his foot in it. And so this sink, one thing you'll notice about it is it doesn't have a drain. So this sink, actually, the drain is, see this little spot here? It actually drains back and out through the drain. So when you're not using it, you just put it up here. They do give you a washcloth and a hand towel, and then there's regular towels in the shower, which we'll show you later. And you've got a little hook here to hang those, and then another mirror light, which Rob will have access to there. On this seat here, you do still have this nice vent here, which again, you can open and close, and you've got the area light and the reading lights, so that gives you plenty there. Now, what I want to show you here too, this is another thing I like about the Viewliner II is when you close this, so normally this is kind of soft, but there's like a hard stick, I guess I should say, or rod of some sort that's in here that keeps it firm. So when you close it, it actually, you know, sticks and stays firm instead of staying loose. So that's kind of nice that you have that as well. And Rob will show you his curtains up above. Now over here is our tray table. And this tray table is amazing. If I can avoid the camera, whoops. is amazing. It's right here, and look at that. And this is nice and firm, so it's not going to dangle. You'll find sometimes on the Viewliner I, it just kind of hangs there, and it's just kind of a crazy mess. So that's that, and that's pretty much the downstairs area. There are some switches here also by the door. There's a ceiling light there and a night light control here, and then the door locks and unlocks right here. You open it and close it there, and you've got these nice curtains here. Again, it's got those kind of those hard little rods in there as well. So that is the downstairs. I'm going to pass it up to Rob, and he's going to show you what it's like upstairs in the penthouse.
This Viewliner II is my absolute favorite room for being upstairs because there's a lot of features. First of all, this is much higher than a Superliner, so you're going to have a lot of space up there, and it's really easy to get up there. You can see these steps right here. They're so big that there's no question what you're stepping on. In the middle of the night, if you're tired, you're not going to miss these going up. So to get up there, all I need to do is, first of all, take this handle and pull it, and that's going to allow the whole upper bed to come down. And that's in the sleeping position now. So this is how much room you're going to have on the lower bunk, and then I'll have, I think, even more up on the upper bunk. Now all I got to do is climb up the steps and go up to the bed. So as you can see, there is a lot of headroom up here, and it is really easy to get up here. It's the easiest one of all. And once you're up here, you want to take these little hooks and put them right up here. Whoops. Not like that though. Okay, got that in. And that is going to be your safety harness, which is right here. It does have a lot of slack to it, so it'll feel like it's not going to catch you, but it actually will catch you if you actually were to roll off. You wouldn't, but it's not like up like this, like a fence. So that's interesting. Now, up here we do have a huge area for storage. So I put both of my bags up here, my big backpack and my little bag, and if I need anything in the night, I can just use those. A lot of people put like a real suitcase up there. We don't do that. We usually check ours on the Viewliner because it is kind of hard. Even though there's a lot of space up there, it is kind of hard to get that all the way up here because it's kind of a tight angle to do it at. So on a Viewliner, we always check our bags. On a Superliner, we bring them with us and just leave them downstairs. So we also have a little pouch up here. That's for your glasses, or maybe you have medication or something like that. And then again, all of our controls are up here. I have a light, air, a fan, I have an attendant thing, and that's the button for the reading light. So the great thing about this is I am sitting straight up right now, and if you're in the middle, your head will bump a little, but on the side, my head is not touching the top of this. Now I am 5'9", so if you're like 6'4" or something like that, your head would definitely hit the top. But if you're under 5'9", not gonna have any problem. The bed also has an interesting shape up here. It's narrow on this end, and then you can see it kind of widens down here. So that's why I sleep on this end down here, because it is much wider and you just have a lot more room. One of the other great features about the Viewliner roomettes is the person on the top actually has their own windows, which I love. On the Superliner, no windows for the person on top. So this will be great because Allie usually goes to sleep before me. She'll close those, I'll leave these open, and I'll be able to see everything I want to see. So this is definitely my favorite roomette of all. There's 4 roomette types. This is the best one. If you're lucky enough to get this, I really hope you enjoy it. Time to check out the bathroom situation in this Viewliner II, and it's a pretty good bathroom for Amtrak standards. This is bigger and I think more well equipped than the Superliners, either the 1 or 2 and the Viewliner I. So let's take a look around here. The toilet is sitting at an angle, which is good because it's much easier to use that way. There is a sink, and I do like that there is room here. You can You can brush your teeth and all that. There's some sinks on some of the other bathrooms that are, the faucet is really short and it really doesn't do well. When you push the button, the water actually stays on, which is another bonus because it makes it way easier to brush your teeth. It's going to turn off automatically eventually, but having it stay on like that is good. There is a changing table if you happen to have a young one with you, trash, some soap, and a mirror. Now there is a little light here. If this light is on, then that means you've correctly locked the door. And if you're in here and that light is not on, sometimes it's faint, but if it's not on, the door is not locked properly and you better readjust that. So pretty good bathroom. The shower is right across the hall, so let's go check that out as well. Same deal with the shower. There's a little light right here that if that's lit up, door's locked. To lock the door, you just move this little button side to side. This shower is nice because I'm standing right here in the changing area, so there's like a little area where you can dress, undress, get toweled off, all that, and then the actual shower. But you've got a trash can. Don't know what you'd stick in there while you're showering, but you've got a little towel rack there. There are towels in here for you. They're laying right there on the seat. Little bar. Let's open up the shower and see what it looks like. Very big. Wow, this is one of the bigger showers I've seen on a train. So I can get in this thing. This is a huge shower. I really like it. I think I might use this tonight. This is really big. Most of the time on Amtrak trains, you do have hot water. Some of the older cars, maybe that's not going to work so well, but this being brand new, I don't think we're going to have any problems. So this is a really nice shower. I'm pretty impressed. So you can see not only you have a little bit more room, it is a newer car, and some of them are pretty new, and they are nicer.
Some of them you can actually still feel the cushion in the carpet when you're walking, or it actually still smells like that, kind of new car smell type thing.
Yeah, everything is just better, I think, in the Viewliner II, unless you really need that toilet.
Yeah.
Which
some people do with mobility issues that may want to pay a little bit less and have that roomette.
Now, if you absolutely have to have one or the other, there is no way to guarantee it because they don't even know which car is going to be on which train. There's almost always one of each, though, on each train. So we have seen, though, like if you get on, and it really works better if you're getting on early in the route. If you get on and you have to you get a 1 and you really need a 2, or you need the toilet, you need a 1. You could ask your attendant, and if they're nice and good, they may be able to switch you, or they may be able to ask someone else that's going the same distance as you, see if they'll switch. We've had people ask us before if we'll switch with them, and we just switched because we've been in all of them. This was their only trip they were going to be on, and they really wanted this one, so it's not a big deal because they're not that big it's not that big a deal.
Right, you're really just not going for that far because, like you said, it's just usually just a one-night
Your
trip
attendant
anyways.
may be able to find someone that will switch with you. So right when you get on, if that's going to be a big issue, you could ask. Maybe it won't work, maybe it will. It's kind of like switching someone for an aisle seat on a plane. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's a gamble.
Yeah, but that could help. So from there, though, we're going to take a look at the next level up. The roomette is the smallest room you can get. The next one up is the bedroom. So let's take a look at what the Viewliner bedrooms look like right now.
Okay, so we are in a Viewliner bedroom. It's a Viewliner II. So this is a little bit newer car. So let me give you a tour. We're going to start here right by the door. Door is behind me. This is the curtain. Ta-da! And you can see what I like about the bedroom, though, is that you can see across the way. So in a family bedroom, you have the whole thing on a Superliner, on a Viewliner. If you want to see out the other side, you can just open up that curtain or open up your door, no problem. Okay, first area is right here, is your sink area. So you've got a sink right here in your room, and you just push and the water comes on. So this is nice because you don't have to keep tapping it to get it to go. while you're washing your hands or brushing your teeth, and it does turn off on its own, so you're not having to, you know, kind of keep track of that. You got your soap right here, and it's stable, so it's not going to roll around and fall on you in the middle of the night. You've got a mirror here, a nice little towel rack, and they do provide the hand towels and washcloths for you, as well as bath towels, which we'll talk about in a minute when we get to the shower. So right here, you'll also have 2 outlets, guys. This is amazing. You've got 2 right here, and there are 2 other ones in the room, which we'll see in just a minute. Light switches are right here, so you can turn your lights on and off to your bedroom right from the entrance to your room. So that's that. And then you also have this kind of medicine cabinet, medicine chest type area. You've got extra toilet paper and cups for rinsing out your mouth, and some place to put a couple of things that you don't want on the shelf down here. There is a little lip here as well to keep things from sliding all the way off, so you've got something to hold your stuff on there. Okay. Over here is your kind of closet area, little closet area. If you can see right here, there's a little bit of space there, and you've got some hangers here with a hook where you can hang some things if you want to. I'm just keeping my bag stored here, kind of out of the way, and it's not going to fall over there. Right here, you can adjust your air. The vent, open it more. Woo, that really does come out. It makes a big difference. Or you can turn it all the way off or a little bit lower, so it's not blowing so hard on you if you don't want that. And then you've got other lights here. I love these. These are all, you're gonna see these in the Viewliner II. If you've seen our Viewliner Roomette video, you've also seen these area lights here. So these are really nice at night. They're very easy on the eyes as well. The reading lights can be a little bit harsher. So this area light is really nice. You can also call your attendant from here. So I won't show you that right now, haha. And then there's your PA speaker. You can turn it on and off with this switch, in and out. And then here's the other 2 outlets. So you've got a total of 4 in this room, guys. Another area light on this side, and then reading light over here as well. So there's quite a bit of fun stuff on that side of the room. Now, if we're sitting here, we've got our table right here. Show you what that looks like when it's out. Pull that out, and you can sit and have your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner, whatever you want right here. You can also use this nice big table for doing some work if you need to get some work done. Very simple too. I have found in the past that sometimes it's a little bit hard to get that table in and out, but this one is really nice in the Viewliner II. It pops right out real easily. Okay. Now you've got some vents here, which you saw also in the Roomette. These vents will blow air, so you can turn that off. And it's going to still blow a little bit of air if you turn it off. When you turn it on, all of those vents are firing, so you're going to get a real cool blast of air if you do that. And then you've got one on this side as well. Now I like the curtains down here. You've got these. And what I like is this is stiff, so it's actually going to stay when you do that. And then you also have a set of curtains up here. So Rob is going to have a set of curtains up in his penthouse as well. So he'll show you that later after we make up the room. All right, and then over here we've got another seat. I'm just going to push that seat down and put the arms down, and you can sit right here, and you have a reading light here as well. Now, I'm going to show you a juicy little thing that you get right here. One of my favorite things about having the bedroom, and that is you have access to your own bathroom right here, guys. So I'm going to hop in here and show you guys around. I find that this space is a little bit bigger than what you get in a superliner bedroom. So I'm going to show you this in here. So I feel like it's a little bit wider than in the superliner bedroom, and you've got, it's the same setup, so you've got a bar here to hang on to should there be any issues. And then you've got your shower head, and it comes off. And on this one, it's just a one-pronged system to turn it on, so you just flip it to turn it on and off. And then you've got a cover as well for your toilet paper, so you don't end up with wet towels for your toilet paper. You've got your button to flush the commode here, and you can call the attendant from inside here should you have any problems at all. The nice thing is that if you need to, you also have the top of the seat here for the commode if you need to sit down while you're showering, and the rack for your towels right here. So right now, we're going to make up the bedroom for nighttime. I'm going to give you a tour of that. Okay, so we've got it all set up down here. This bed is 6'2" inches long, 6 feet 2 inches long, and 40 inches wide. A lot of people ask us if 2 people could sleep down here. You could, but it wouldn't be comfortable. You could maybe lay down, but I wouldn't do this overnight down here. But this is very comfy down here. All you need to do is move the chair, the facing chair on this side. It folds and flips over, and then the stairs are stored right behind there. So Rob is going to give you guys a tour of his penthouse upstairs. So let's have him go up the stairs. And now it's important to go forward facing, right?
Yeah, the stairs are pretty steep, so you want to go up forward. But this is going to be easy because there's all kinds of headroom, and there is a bar up there to grab hold of once you get halfway up. So this should be easy. Piece of cake. So this is probably the roomiest upstairs place you could have because you're facing forward for the direction of travel we are today, and so your windows are going to be over here to the side. You have a good view looking out, and then you don't have too much up here as far as storage goes. You just have this kind of little pouch. So I like to put my glasses, my phone, and all that in here as well. The other thing to note is that there are no outlets up here. So normally what we do is we string one up from the bottom. There's a little gap so you can put a little cord up because there are outlets right below here, so we do that. Then as far as vents up here, you do have quite a few. You have an air vent, you have an attendant vent, you have a night light, a ceiling light, and a reading light. The other thing you'll note up here is these storage areas, which in the Viewliner II are really, really big. Now this one, which is over the bathroom area, is actually a little bit taller than this one over here, which we have the downstairs mattress in right now. So this bar is a little bit lower than the bar is on this one. So you're gonna want to put your taller bag on this one and your shorter bag on that one. Otherwise, it will be tough to get those out. As far as getting down from here, really easy. You do want to go down backwards though, otherwise you could throw your knee out because it put a lot of pressure on going forward. While the train's going forward, you could end up right at that door. Which the other thing I wanted to mention was that door right there that Allie's standing by is the door to the next room. So that would make for a 2-room suite. If you've ever seen someone say they had a 2-room suite, that is how they did it. They had this room, and then next to them, that door opens up. You have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and that makes for a 2-room suite. But I'm gonna stay up here. This is a great place to sleep. Now this bed, actually, I forgot to say, I think is 6'1" inches, so it's an inch shorter than down below. And the reason for that is this little gap right here. But if you're really tall, your feet could hang over that possibly. There is more room. The bed doesn't take up the whole area, but the mattress is only 6'1" inches up here.
All right, so the obvious big advantage to having a bedroom on a Viewliner is that you have the bathroom built into your room, and it's a full bathroom. You got that big sink area, and you have the shower, and of course your commode right there in the room. Plus, we really like that you have not just the one seat, but you also have that couch throughout the day that you can kind of lay on if you wanted to, or if you just want to, put your feet up and read a book or whatever and be comfortable, you can do that also. Yeah. So that is really nice to have that. There's very few of them on each train car, so they are hard to come by. And again, this is one of those things you're going to want to book early. If that's 100% the room you want, you need to book early. You're going to get the better price anyways.
Yeah, another thing I love about the bedroom is basically you can see out both sides of the train.
Exactly.
So you've got the window in the room, but then you can leave the door open and there'll be a window on the other side. So you can see out both sides. So if something cool you want to see is on either side, you're not going to miss it. Although these East Coast routes are not as scenic as the West Coast routes. That's why they don't have observation cars. I still like to see out there.
Yeah.
And
there are some fun things to
Yeah.
see along some of these routes.
And as you know, as you're going along, you just kind of like to see everything,
Right.
everything that you're seeing. So I like to see that. Pricing wise on these rooms, it's going to be about double what a roomette is. So it's going to be, you know, start at about $1,000 and go up in the summertime. You know, we've seen them $1,500. I've seen them $1,800 if it's really busy.
Yeah.
But the longer you wait to book, the more expensive it's going to get, because as the train fills up, then the price goes up as well.
Yeah, and we do have on our website, groundedlifetravel.com, you can download those maps Rob mentioned earlier, but you can also read about discount opportunities, as well as there are sales, but there are also year-round discount opportunities. So go to the website, check out that article about discounts, and you'll see if any of those fit you, or if you can use any of those and you have the documentation for them, then you could get a discount and help bring that price down a little bit.
Wanted to mention one thing that people do, because there is no family bedroom on the Viewliner. Now, the Superliner has a family bedroom that will sleep 4 people. Has 2-ish kind of beds on the bottom. One is really small, but
They're for children.
but there is no way on the Viewliner train for 2 people to sleep on the lower level, because both the bedroom and the roomette only have one lower bed and one upper bed. So what we've seen people do that both want to sleep on the lower level is they get 2 roomettes right across the hall from each other, and they just leave the doors open during the day and they can talk back and forth. So we have seen that quite a bit, actually. Then at night, both people have a bed to sleep on, and
on the bottom.
they have tons of room because they leave that upper bunk way up at the top. They don't even bring that down.
So they have all their head space.
Now the only thing you lose over getting a bedroom is you lose a private bathroom.
Exactly.
Except for if you get a Viewliner 1 roomette, you both have a private bathroom.
Exactly.
So it kind of works out.
No shower, but you do get a bathroom.
Kind of works out pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
For one night, you probably don't need a shower. So if you both want to sleep on the bottom, you know, that's an option for you. But you need to call in and make sure they're going to be across from each other. You don't want to get one on one end and one on the other end.
Right.
Because then, I mean, maybe you do, but wouldn't it be a lot of fun if you want to be with each other? So I would do that. But there's one other room. There is no family bedroom. There is an accessible room on the Viewliner. And there are some pretty big differences between the Viewliner 1 accessible and the Viewliner 2 accessible. Viewliner 2 accessible is probably the best room in all of Amtrak. It's huge. But we're going to show you what the accessible room looks like right now.
So you get your own commode in the room, and it does have these push attendant buttons all over the place, guys, so that you're able to call the attendant if you get into a pinch anywhere. The bars are everywhere. And you do have your own thermostat in here to control the temperature. There's a ceiling light to turn it on and off, and then there's a night light if you want something small. This bar does come down if you need it. You can bring this bar down, or it's a 88 transfer bar. You also have a sink here with, again, bars on both sides, so they have a lot of excellent accommodations. This is an ADA approved room. You've got your hot and your cold cups, you've got soap, your towels, and you do have a mirror light as well if you want to see yourself a little bit better, put some makeup on, and some outlets here at the sink. You get a little closet area here, and then these are the seats right here. So you get 2 seats, and these actually, there's a bar underneath that you push for pulling them out for the bed, which I'll show you in just a little bit once we finish the tour. But this is not the actual full bed. It slides all the way out, and then you're able to lay down on that. So this is the top bunk here, and it actually, if you can see, has all of the same things that you have down below. You've got the air conditioner, you've got your push to call for attendant, and you've also got your night light, ceiling light, and a reading light. And then up over here to the right, you see you've got some place to store luggage or a bag or anything that you need to. The cool thing up here as well is you do get a view out the top. Right here, if you want to open those up, you can see right out the windows. Down here, you've got these windows. And I like this if you want to have your meals here, or you want to sit and read or work on the computer. You just pull this table out right here. Ta-da! And you can sit and have your meal. What I love too is there are some drink holder spots right here. And you control the air. You can turn it on and off with these vents here. Right there. All right, and then you also, again, have another one of those push call buttons here and another reading light. This is very important. It's a passenger emergency intercom, which is, again, extremely helpful if you're in an accessible room and you should need something like that. You push this to communicate with the crew. Again, more bars here. There's a curtain divider here. So this here is your shower. And it does have a seat. And again, another push button here on the inside. And you've got, of course, all of your aid bars here inside the shower as well. And this is removable. It comes right off if you need to take it off and use it down low in the shower. So it does have an immense amount of accommodations. Let's see how easy it is to pull these out. So it says to push for the bed. So we just pull it out. Pulling out, let's see. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so that does make it a little bit wider there. Let me see if we can go a little bit wider. Keep pulling. This does seem a little bit challenging. Oh, it does come out more. Maybe it comes out all the way. Let's try it again. Keep pulling. I think you have to pull really hard, maybe. Let's see. Okay, I think that's about as far as we can get it out there. And push the cushion out. That looks pretty good. So you do both sides like that, and then you're able to lay down, and they'll bring you some sheets. You've got 2 pillows on each one, so there are 2 pillows up here. This is actually the mattress that you move down below for your bed. And this is important for the person on top, is this netting. So this hooks up, these hooks up to these 2 areas up here, hooks on, and you definitely, especially in this room, want to have this on, because you could roll right out of that bed and end up in the sink or on the floor or even on top of the person down below. So you want to always connect these.
And
when
I'm
you're
gonna
up
be
there.
the one up there, so I'm gonna climb up and see what it's like. And I'll let you know what it's like.
All right, let's see how Rob does getting
How
up
do you
there.
get up there, though, is my question.
I think you use that step right there.
This is Okay.
This is us trying to figure out how to get up this thing.
Okay, I'm gonna step here.
All right, here we go.
Here.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, I don't know what to do from here.
Yeah, I feel like there should be another step somewhere. You guys.
That did not work.
That did not work.
There has got to be another way.
Let's see. There has to be another way. I don't feel like that's it. I'll tell you what, we're gonna cut and then we'll be right back as soon as we figure it out. Okay, found out lots of little tidbits for you. Monique, our attendant, was in here and she gave us quite a few pointers. Also, she laughed at us, I think, for making a mess of this room. But she set us straight and she was really nice about it. So here's the first thing, is that we've been pulling and pushing this door like a couple of crazies here, and she told us all you have to do is push this button. Watch this. Hit the button, door opens. Ta-da! Opens out, hit the button, and the door's gonna close. Now, what happens is, once the door is closed, you flip this and lock it, so that locks the door. So there's an identical button like this one out in the hallway outside the door. that the attendant can use. So if you call the attendant or you have an emergency, they're able to open your door from here. But if it's locked, they will not be able to get in. So you'll have to, you know, get here and unlock it, or just leave it unlocked, but know that if somebody hits that button outside your door is gonna come open. But here's the cool thing is they do have this kind of curtain divider here that you can pull all the way across. So even if the door were to get opened, you still have this divider here that's actually protecting you on the bedside, or if you were seated in the seats. So that's pretty good, I think. Gives you a little bit of privacy protection. Now, the other thing we found out is that we had not pulled the bed all the way out. Look at how huge this is. Let me show you. Take off my, look at this. Okay, so this is how big this bed is. It's huge. So it is almost twice the size of a roomette bed when you pull it out. So it's, and this bed up here is actually 1.5 of what the bed would be in a regular roomette, unlike a superliner. So again, this is a viewliner, so it's going to be a little bit different when you're in the accessible on a superliner. So Rob has brought his tape measure and he's going to show you kind of the measurements here for those of you who want this in-depth information.
One thing that I noticed was this is a viewliner, so the ceiling is a lot taller than on a superliner.
Look at that.
So on
see how much room is above?
Superliner, you're kind of hitting your head up there, but we've got 31 inches of clearance to the bed from the ceiling. But I'm going to show you exactly how wide this bed is. From the wall to the edge of the cushion, you've got 42 inches, so that is pretty good. It is 6 feet long, 72 inches. Wow. And let's see up here on this one, you've got 32 inches wide on that bed, and it is the same length. Let me give you a little taste of the shower. The shower is about 36 inches by 34 inches. So this is a really roomy room. And when we got on, she said it was the best room on the train. So the other great thing about this Viewliner accessible bedroom is that everything's on one level. So on a superliner, the dining car is going to be higher. On this train, everything's on one level. We walk by the dining car and you don't have to go, there's no stairs to go up or down, and it's easy on, easy off. Okay, so when we left, when we cut, we were talking about how do we get up to the upper bunk. Well, Monique happened to walk in while she said, "What are you trying to do?" She said, "You don't climb up there." Apparently there's a ladder that goes here, and she went to get that and bring it in here. Usually it's in here, but we were doing a short trip today, so they didn't set it in here because we weren't going to use the bed to sleep in. But there's usually a ladder that goes right here, and that's what she was going to bring in here for us. So if you're up top, you'll be climbing a little ladder, kind of like on a bunk bed, and of course the bottom person will be in their spot. So, okay, so as you can see, that Viewliner II accessible room is amazing. The only difference between, the main difference between it and the Viewliner I accessible room is that they added the shower. They didn't have the shower in there in the Viewliner I accessible, and they do have it in the two, and as you can see, there's plenty of space in there. There is that separation curtain, you know, for the commode, just like in the superliner accessible room. So it's a lot of space, and it's a comfortable, you know, amount of space for two people to share, as long as one person can sleep on the top. Yeah, if you have someone that can sleep up top, then it'll be fine. Now, the downside to this is, of course, you can't pick which one you're gonna get. So if you book the accessible room, you might get the one, you might get the much better and bigger too, but there's no way to know, and it's gonna be the same price.
Right.
And the person that gets the two is not gonna switch with the person that gets the one. They will most certainly
not.
So if you
and
get
we don't blame them.
If you get the one, that's just what you're gonna get.
Just enjoy your journey, right?
Yeah. So assume you're getting the one, and if you get the two, that's just a bonus.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough to be able to be let into one to look around by a really nice car attendant we had when there was nobody in it for a few hours. But it is almost always booked. And so to the point where people ask us all the time, can you reserve the accessible rooms online because they don't show up? You can. They just don't show up if they're booked.
If you can find it, then, that's your lucky day, because they are really hard to find. And really the best way is just to call Amtrak's reservation line and ask them to find one for you when it's available if you don't have set dates, because it's almost impossible to find online.
Yeah, they're almost always booked. And the price, it's high. The accessible rooms are starting at more like $1,200 to $1,500. If you can get a better deal than that, it's a pretty good deal. But they are really nice, and if it's the only way you can do it and it's what you want to do, it's worth it. Because the Viewliner trains are great for people with mobility issues because they're all one level, and you can get very easily from your room to the dining car and back, and have the full train experience. So
exactly,
totally recommended. For people that need that room. It's something great to use.
Yeah. Now, your ticket price, all these ticket prices Rob was talking about, does include your meals, as we mentioned earlier, and you do also get one alcoholic beverage per person per ride included with that price and your 2 bags. So you really do get quite a lot for that, as well as the fact that you're adding in, that's your transportation and your hotel. And, it's better than driving, I always think, because you don't have to pay attention as the driver, right?
Yeah.
Or the navigator. You can just fall asleep on the job and it doesn't matter. Someone else is driving for you and you don't have to worry about stopping for a bathroom or hotel or anything. That's one of the great things about train journeys.
Yeah. The other thing that you get with these rooms is access to the Metropolitan Lounge. So if you are starting in New York City, it is amazing because they have at Moynihan Train Hall the best Metropolitan Lounge in the country by far.
Definitely.
So if you're
As a matter of fact, we should probably show that to them.
Yeah, we'll show that to you. We'll show that what it looks like.
We'll show that to you here in just a minute.
And if you are going there, you want to get there at least hour, maybe 2 hours early, because they have they have drinks, snacks. It's beautiful.
Yeah, they do. They have hot food available as well as like, snacks and salads and chips. They have a barista there. They make coffee beverages, adult beverages you can purchase, sodas, flavored waters. I also made flavored iced tea, which was really good too. So, and it's just a beautiful lounge. It's a beautiful train hall, Moynihan Train Hall, but the lounge is gorgeous, overlooking the train hall from above. So it's really something to look at. So let me show you what that looks like here real quick, and then we'll be back to give you a little bit more info. Okay, so lots to think about here as you're planning out your trip and which kind of room you want to get. I think overall, top few things about a Viewliner are, as Rob mentioned earlier, that everything is on one level, so everyone has access to everything. Now that is limited obviously to where you can go to and from, but that is, I think, one of those top things. And
if you have someone that has, no one wants to, if you're both claustrophobic, this is the better one to go on the Superliner, because the person in the top bunk has a lot more room.
A lot more room.
If one of you is not going to be willing to be in a really tight space, then you don't want to be on a Superliner, because those are a lot tighter. So think about that. We have another video out on the Superliners that show all those as well, and you can kind of go look at that video and see how much less space you have on a Superliner. It's a lot less space. So think about that before you pick your route, and you'll be setting yourself up for a good vacation.